Hello, lovely family and friends, and warm welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well by God's grace. I'm also doing fantastically well. Trust me. So today I want to share with you this bread recipe, okay? Sugar bread, Ghana sugar bread. We eat sugar bread a lot. Sugar bread, tea bread, butter bread. It's always on our diet. It's like every day. So today I'm going to show you how you can make your own sugar bread at home for it to taste like store-bought. Never the same as store-bought, but it comes close. So let's get into it. So first of all, I have my yeast, 8 grams of active yeast. For us to know that this yeast is alive, we need to bloom it. We bloom it in warm water, and you have to add some sugar to help it bloom, okay? Because yeast does two main things. Number one, it converts sugar into carbon dioxide gas, which lifts and aerates the dough. So that's what makes the dough rise, okay? And number two, when the gases are formed and it's rising, it can get out of control. So the yeast itself will mellow and condition the gluten in the dough so that it doesn't get out of control. You understand? So it absorbs the gases, brings it down and hold it in place. So yeast is what we call in tree, two-edged sword. It cuts here and there. So whilst our yeast is blooming, I'm greasing my pan. Get that ready out of the way so that when you are ready, just put it in. Now my yeast has bloomed nicely. Look at how it has risen. Just say abashro. So my bread flour, I'm adding my sugar. I'll add my milk powder. I'll add some salt. And then I'll grate in my nutmeg. I'll later on add some vanilla extract, okay? So the sugar that I added, that is the same quantity of sugar that I scooped 2 spoons and put in the yeast. So it's the same 120 grams. I'm just trying to explain here that this sugar is not in addition to the 2 teaspoons, okay? It's all 120, right? Okay, so when that is done, I'm going to give it a stir for everything to mix before I add the rest of the ingredients. Just so that you know, you can add all the ingredients in at once and then knead it. But for me, this is how I wanted to do it. And you can use your hand to knead. But I have said on my channel, this kneading with the hand in it, I will never do it again because it takes up all my energy. But at some point with this bread, you'd have to knead with your hand again, okay, because of the kind of texture and taste we are going for. So you see what I mean later in the video. So here I'm going to add some vanilla extract, and at this point, if you want to add any flavor, usually our sugar bread in Ghana has pineapple flavor, but you can put whatever flavor you want. So this kneading is going to take a long time. We're going to let this machine knead this bread for up to 20 minutes, right? After that, we'll use our hand to knead it further, because kneading is a very important step in making Ghana bread or getting the texture that we want. So at the beginning, I told you that I was using 250 mils of water. That was what I used to bloom the yeast, but I added some more. So I added 100 mils more. So in total, I used 350 mils of water. So I was actually measuring the water that I was adding so that I can tell you. So as I was saying, the kneading process, well, before I continue, here is when I add my butter. But then you can add your butter, totally add your butter from the beginning. You can add an egg to it. You can add bread conditioner or bread improver, whatever. You can add all that to this, your bread, okay? I'm going to bring you another bread recipe and you see all that happening in there. And it is amazing. So yeah, this machine is going to work. It's going to knead. You can see luckily on my mixer, it has a timer. So you see that it's been kneading for 12 minutes. I'll let it stop at some point, like right now. I let it stop because the machine, I felt it was tired. And then it will knead again for, I think, about 8 minutes. In total, it was like 20 minutes or 21 minutes, right? Okay. So yes, then I transfer it onto my working board. We're still talking about the kneading, because if you want your Ghana bread to taste like how it is in Ghana or to look like how it is in Ghana. This is one factor, okay, that you have to, consider. Okay, so now as you see me, I am kneading this bread with my hand. I am manipulating it. I am pushing it down, rolling it, whacking it on the bench, doing all that, right? At the same time, I am folding it over. You can see I fold it over, I roll it, and then I will roll it. I roll it with a rolling pin, and then I will roll it over, like roll. Just said they're rolling it, two kinds of rolling. So, but then roll and roll. Yeah. So you see, I did it for a good 15 to 30 minutes. I was doing this. I was just whacking, kneading, flowing, rolling, two kinds of rolling, okay? So, and at some point you see that there's some sort of resistance in the dough. It means a gluten are tight, yeah? So you leave the bread and you let it rest, then you come back. So the second type of rolling is what you're about to see me do. So I let that one rest because the dough had become tight, right? And I just went on to deal with the small one, the other bread. We have this bread that they are always conjoined like that. You say, why, and I kind of say, maybe if it's any fresh bread, Yeah, this is what I'm rolling that, getting that ready. Then I will come back to the main loaf, right? So that's what I'm now arranging in my loaf tin. So this bread, I really enjoyed making the bread because of the outcome. Usually when I make bread, my family, they don't eat it because they don't trust, say, I've made proper bread. They don't believe that mommy can make bread, right? But this time, I don't know, my little girl started eating it and then she was like raving about it, and then everybody, right? So this is the bread. This is what I meant by rolling. So I'm rolling it all over the place. You roll it to the left, you turn it upside down, then you roll over it. Just roll and make sure that you are forming those layers that I was mentioning, right? So I was done rolling the bread. The dough looked good to me, and this is the time that I am forming it into a log for it to go into my bread tin for it to rise. Just bear in mind, I am not double rising here. This is just one single rise, okay? From the machine to the table to the tin, then to the oven, right? So here I'll cover it with the cling film, right? And what I did when covering with the cling film is I've brushed it with some butter so that when the bread rises, it doesn't stick onto the cling film. You brush it with the butter, and as you're covering it, you make sure that you make room. So you see that it's not tight, it is very loose. That is so that when the bread rises, it will get room to rise to, otherwise there will be some waste, right? So it's been sitting for about 2 hours, and now it's going into the oven. Trust me, this bread will it exploded. I'm like, hey, please, why have you become so big? So that is the bread. I baked it. For the baking, my oven is very tricky, so I baked it on very low heat, 160 for up to an hour. Okay, I didn't want my bread to burn. My oven is funny, so it's very tricky to me. So usually, now look at how the bread has become motolized. Motolized bread, motons are like cotton. Very nice first day bread, chewy, sweet, and So I waited for the next day for you to see how it looks like. So this is the next day, and the bread was still soft, and I'm cutting it for you to see. Amazing stuff. So yeah, that is our sugar bread. I'll put all the ingredients and the measurements in the description box for you to give it a try if you're interested. Yeah, so thank you all for joining me. I am so grateful to all of you. Thank you, and I'll see you in the very next one. Bye.